going on YouTube? It's your main man buddy and Bromigo Dennis here from Buster's Reef, just doing a very quick update here. And as you can see, nice bit of skimmer popping up, so this has actually kind of tuned itself in, which is great. It's a recirculating skimmer, so it doesn't really run on depth, which is something that a lot of people sort of think that skimmers have to run on. Not all skimmers do. I'm pretty sure I'm just repeating facts and common knowledge, but just there as an FYI for people. I thought I'd also do a very quick update on the tank above. So here we go. As you can see, still fighting through the bryopsis, but it's easing up. You won't see it up on the top there, which is where some of the detritus does settle. But it's gone away. I've got the rabbit fish, which will be in here in about 4 weeks' time, and if it gets any worse, it'll rip all that stuff out pretty quickly. The rabbit fish is doing a pretty good job of doing it in my other tank, the quarantine. As you can see, this rock pork, it did have bryopsis all over it. It's all gone away. Angelfish is starting to become a bit more boisterous now, which is good and bad, because I want to add other fish, and I think he's going to beat them. It's senseless, but I'm hoping it'll be fine. But let's see. She's narky. Montana's munching on all this here as well, which is good. Yeah, everything's going good. I know it's only been a week or so, but so far so good. And I'll keep an eye on that as well, let you guys know how it goes. I'm going to be quite transparent with the information behind that. And that would show that it is really subject to the fish as to whether it's going to smash your corals or not. So therefore, that caution part, which a lot of people seem to ignore and just go, not reef safe, is a big thing to take into consideration. Yeah, as you can see, corals are doing pretty well, especially a lot of the maricultured corals that I have in the frags. Like this guy's just, it's grown a little bit more, which is great. It's starting to encrust a lot onto that plug, which is good. I quite enjoy it. That one there is not doing as well, but it's alright. It's a browned out piece that I got anyhows, and I'd like to see how the bottom half of it goes, the bit that's a little bit more shaded. If it doesn't do well on me, I've got another piece of coral I can put in there after acclimating it that should do well there. This piece is going well. Polyp extension is there. You see a lot of growth at the tips and a little bit of encrusting. That algae is really cramping its style. This browned out piece here is doing pretty well. Polyp extensions, polyps are out. This quasi blue piece doing well as usual. A lot of growth. Bit of, you can actually see at the bottom, but bit of crowding out with the crusting. This piece is encrusting like nuts, which is good. Bird's nest, got a little bit of growth on the edges, which is great, and we're just slowly seeing it take into its own. Bear in mind though, you're not really going to get a massive amount of growth in a week. Samacora getting crowded out with a bit of that algae, but it's still fighting strong, which is good. That piece has grown actually from when I last saw it, and it has coloured up a little bit. You can sort of see it there, which is cool. That's what I'm really interested to see how that goes. This piece has grown a little bit. That has encrusted a little bit. It's good. Yeah, hard to tell. That hasn't really grown all that much. It has a little bit, but not much. It's starting to get its colour in, which is good. This piece here, it's getting a bit more colour to it, which is good. I'm not putting it as high a light so it doesn't bleach. Duncan's doing what Duncans do best. They're bulletproof, so it doesn't make a difference. Anyways, I showed you the video of the skimmer to sort of say, never go too small a skimmer, and there's no, like, the sky's the limit with the size of a skimmer. Of course, take into account that the efficiency can sort of wane, so it is a law of diminishing returns is probably the best way to describe it. If you're an economist, you'll understand what I'm talking about, in the sense that once you go so big that it becomes inefficient, it's still going to be more effective at pulling stuff out. It's just not going to be as efficient as that skimmer can run. And that's probably the biggest thing that I would say is definitely get the biggest skimmer you can fit and afford. It just makes life a lot easier. Don't let the algae fool you. It's got silicates in the water column, so that's why this is starting to blossom and really take take steam, but you can see Montana's smashing it out as best as he can, or she can, which is good. She wants some nori, but anyways, as far as feeding, I feed a sheet of nori a day on that. This about 4 or 5 times a day for the angelfish. And then the smaller Formula 1 and Formula 2 combined for Montana to have a little bit of diverse algae food, and the clams to get some food in them as well. And I've got some Formula 2 flake in there that I got as a sample. I haven't really taken to it, mainly because they're not used to flake food. I'd say that. They're not pelagic feeders in the first place. None of these guys are. They're all benthic to a certain degree. So they're not really going to snatch stuff out of the water column. They normally wait for it to land, and then they'll hit it. Yeah, it's a quick update. Just to let you guys know, for the formatting from now on, I'm going to start doing Wednesdays and Saturday video drops. So probably Tuesdays, Friday nights in the US, depending on where you are. So please feel free to keep an eye out for them anyhow. Also let me know if my videos are too long in the comments. If they're way too long, I'll cut them down. Don't say they're 10 minutes too long if they're 10 minutes. That really hurts my feelings. But nonetheless, yeah, feel free to keep an eye out on them. I'm definitely happy to post up shorter videos around the 5-6 minute mark range if people need to, and I can pop them in as extras as well if I need to. I don't edit these videos because I'm lazy, and I will edit them eventually when I start to talk about subject matter. But as I said, I'm not an expert in reef keeping. I just know there are some things that are just common truths that you should definitely try and employ in your system. And then everything else is just what you get from the forums. But I'm definitely happy to go into some FYIs about this guy in a reef once I have long-term sample of success. I'm not really going into care profiles either, they're pretty straightforward. But anyhow, and feel free to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend if you want. But yeah, beyond that there, happy reefing, and as I say on pizza, take it easy.